Good morning, y'all. Gabrielle here. So I slept really good, right? But after I got up, the energy was so damn heavy. Like I had to really work to get this energy off of me, and I mean, I had to lay up my stones and necklaces. I don't know how many decks of cards I pull out ones, like 3 or 4, before I finally was like, okay, feeling better. Have sage and light some incense. Like, it's crazy. So I'm like, alright, let's see what's going on. So I started dropping some cards. I've had an interesting, what's today, Tuesday? Yeah. Anyway, it's been interesting. And so I've been trying to clear my energy, clear my mind, ground, and all that fun stuff. Keep my vibrations high, super important stuff for life. And let things that have happened stay in that state it happened. And progress, honoring, my emotions and that sort of thing. Because you have them. So I was like, alright, fine. So I dropped these cards and I'm going through them, debating whether or not I'm going to turn the camera on. And then I see something. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever picked that up before. Let's see. Do y'all see it? The fleur-de-lis on her back. Now, I caught it and then I turned the camera on. I didn't look it up. I need to. I have some thoughts on it, but before I share my thoughts on them, I would rather further educate myself. So I may add that in the description. But I can't, when I see that symbol, number one, I think of the saints. Then I think of France and the aristocracy. Now, that could be what's going on in France, right? This could be a message for what's happening. And I haven't been following, ironically, right? And it's ironic because people have been sending me articles and videos and all sorts of things on the state of events there. And I actually had a trip there not too long ago. So everyone thinks I'm super interested in the goings on. Ironically enough, I'm back home and life is happening and I'm here. But I'm trying to make the time to educate myself and stay abreast. But here I am looking at this fleur-de-lis and I'm like, oh. The French people are not one for taking lashes. And I'm looking at this young woman's back. And even though it somewhat seems muscular, what I see are lashes, like that of a slave. When people used to take their licks. And she is pushing against him with a look of no more. And I know the civil unrest has escalated severely in Paris in particular. And even into the tourist areas. And I had a conversation with a woman yesterday, and she was downright appalled that they would have the nerve and or disrespect to bring their dismay to where the economy thrives the most. And I told her maybe she should think about what happened in Baltimore. And how until they got to the tourist area, the inner harbor, they were letting them burn the city. They didn't care about what they did to their own neighborhoods. But the minute they came into the areas where commerce thrived, then it was a problem. The French are notoriously volatile. And I don't hold that against them. I really don't. It's just a fact. Their history is their history, and it speaks volumes. And the nations they have chosen to lay claim to, if you look at their histories, they are volatile. So, and really this is about immigration there. And it's the way she's pushing against him. And what I saw when I was there, I know they're talking about gas tax and this and that, but the country is overrun with people from places where they claimed territory. It's fair, right? It's what America's going through. You want to be an empire? Okay, no problem. Well, there are certain expectations, certain greasings of wheels, so to speak, that come with the empire status. And it's funny how you can get a very honest, a very, very honest conversation from a taxi driver. Where I find that most people in limousine services from other countries are very opinionated, and they have no problem sharing their opinions. Now, especially here in America, like, they have no problem. They'll just, but usually about where they're from. I'm not abroad often, and so it was very interesting to have someone so forthcoming in a place, I don't know, it's like mixed. You expect it, but you don't, type thing. And he was very bold in his remarks about immigration. And he was a born and raised Frenchman. And I only make that distinction because he noted that there were very few Parisians left in Paris, that they were all abroad. Then he started pointing out the neighborhoods and their ethnic connotations, like this is Turkey and this is Iran and etc. And India, etc. And so it's like, I know what the problem is. I see the problem. I hear the problem because I'm coming from America where we've been tiptoeing around this issue for a very long time. And even though we should be well beyond any of this, because we don't actually practice integration in our country, it's the illusion of it. Now, there are a lot of folks who just genuinely don't care, and love is love, and everyone's everyone, and I'm actually part of that guild of love is love, and people are people, and I don't care who you are or your walk of life. If you're good people, you're good people, and you're good by me. I don't care what your package looks like, your outer wrapper. I'm looking at your inner light. It's like what your parents see, that innocence. That. So, but for so many people, it's really not like that. They buy into stereotypes, and Oh gosh. Ignorance. They literally buy into the ignorance. Whereas here we're still having full-on racial issues. In other countries, they're still having religious issues. And I know in France, because of the immigration, a lot of what you're seeing is actually a religious ripple, which is ironic because France is not a religious nation anymore, but they allow you to be liberal and you can do what you want. So therein lies the conundrum, where I don't know about their laws like that, so I won't even purport to, like I do. But I do know that what is it? To whom much is given, much is required. And so at this point, you kind of have to ask these nations, these leaders, to step up to the plate to protect their citizens in a mindful way. In a mindful way. You can have open borders, but you cannot have religious persecution within those borders. No person's faith is greater than the next, meaning your doctrine is no greater than their doctrine. They're all just doctrine. Everybody's just trying to be the best versions of themselves, right? That's the templates. Although I think Christ consciousness really rocks, because all he's asking you to do is love. And if you can do that, then you fulfill the law. Come on, people. We're failing at the simplest thing. That's because so many of us didn't get proper love. We got conditional love. And we need to all get to unconditional love. Love for the sake of love. Ponder that. I don't know how much of this reading I'm actually going to do for y'all. I think that's pretty much the message that needed to come out. It's ironic because I was really here struggling to find, I don't want to say love, but peace, and to extinguish embers that I felt growing in a negative direction. And I'm so glad that this message has come out, because it's like I'm looking at this table, and every time I see this 9 of chalice cups, I'm looking at all the tools. I'm looking at all the ingredients for success right there on the table in front of them, if they just turn their heads and look at it. Instead of resisting each other in this tug of war, this silly resistance. And here it is. It comes down to one side thinks they are sophisticated. And because of their, again, aristocracy, it keeps coming back, because of these old ideas and notions, they're struggling with a stronger precedent. Whereas they can peacefully coincide. There is a way of coming together. But both people have to look. Both sides, both factions, whatever you want to call it, they have to look. They really got to look and examine what's right in front of them. and so to speak, not be lured by the finer things as they were. or what their perception of the finer things are. And if both sides would almost like respectfully release. Yeah, it's like a letting go, a truce. It really can come to a peaceful resolution and stop burning the midnight oil on the matter. There's strength in unity because you can only go up. Quite literally, you can only go up. There is strength in unity, and it can be fortified. Okay. Wow. Huh. Yeah. Strength and unity. All right, y'all. Bye.